Ladies and gentlemen, there's one statement: live in the present, live in the moment. I think it's very important for us to discover and investigate. So, when I was in solo traveling in Himalayas, and for 5 days, I decided to just detach myself and live on that mountain which is behind me, an absolute disconnection from people and social media. And I decided to discover and investigate various concepts and the statements which we have received from that city manual. And one very prominent statement which we have received from that city manual, especially when if you are in stress or depression or sad or unhappy, live in the moment, live in the present. So let's discover, let's investigate, let's understand. Let me give you access to what I have realized. What I believe is that we always live with the feelings of next action which we are going to do. Let's understand this particular statement, this realization, with the help of some examples. Let me share one incident. I was in Mumbai many years ago, and one certain day, I thought, let me go out and have chilled beer. Then I moved. I reached one beer bar, and my recipe for if I am going and just drinking alone and just want to have good time for myself, my recipe is, and I don't like to manipulate that recipe. Just like Dhoni doesn't want to change his team, I don't want to manipulate my recipe. Two beer and one chicken lollipop plate. That gives me huge satisfaction if I'm just drinking alone. Right? So I reach there and I order one beer and one chicken lollipop. There's no logic of ordering two beer together. So, and then I realize, oh my god, I have only 500 rupees in my pocket. When I was just taking and enjoying that beer, I realized only 500 rupees I have. And I was not carrying wallet. There was no UPI in those days, nothing. And there was no way, with minimum efforts, I could have arranged more money. That was the truth of that particular moment. And I thought, okay, now I have to take only one beer, only one chicken lollipop because two beer will be beyond 500 rupees. And when I was drinking that first beer and when I realized this truth that today I'm going to consume only one beer, I must tell you I was in complete pain even when I was taking that beer. Why? Because I'm not going to have my second beer, which is my next action. The next action is that I'm not going to have my second beer. I'm going to just pay the bill and move. And the option was I would have ordered one more beer and enjoy a perfect recipe. You're getting a point. So I'm always, for example, imagine if I had more than 500 rupees or enough money to order second beer. While having first beer also, I would have thought, okay, one more is coming, one more is coming. I'm always in the future. Let me give one more example. I was in city, Mumbai, many years ago, and then I was in job in those days. After leaving every day, I have to take train and then go to home. That was a routine. Local train in Mumbai in those days. Oh my God, it was like you can enjoy the sweat of each other. Ladies and gentlemen, in that 15 minutes of walk from office to local train, most of the time, if I'm walking alone, if there is external distraction, then we're always busy in that. Exactly. My friends are walking with me, we're busy. But if I'm walking alone, then I'm always thinking about, hey, now I have to go in that train, now I have to go in that. You are actually taking the energy or the feelings from the action which you are going to take, and you're already in pain. On the other hand, one of my friends, he was, is like he used to go in the train and then he has his kirtan mandali, the group of people who sing God's song in the train. Maybe for him, when he was walking towards the train, maybe he's good feeling. He's just excited. He's taking the energy from that pleasure that, hey, uh, I'm going to get a lot of pleasure after some time because I'm going to meet my friends and I'm going to meet and I'm going to sing. The action, your next action, I'm not talking about the action which you're going to take after 1 month or one day. Your next action, ladies and gentlemen, we derive energy, we derive a lot of feelings, and actually feelings give us a lot of reaction in the body, and that's how body react, and that defines your state of mind, that defines your mood, isn't it? So what I realize is we always live in the moment with the feelings and the energy of the action which we are going to do the next moment, which either giving us pain or pleasure. So we are consuming the pain and pleasure the next moment, always. That's my realization. Now, what's the problem? Very careful using the word problem. The problem is almost 40 years of my life, and I still see uh, people doing this, those who are living a very busy, scheduled life. The problem is your next action is not under your control, unfortunately. Which is absolutely okay for a few years in life, because if you have taken birth on planet Earth, then for some years it's important for us to follow the city manual. It's just like in entrepreneurship, we always say that do job for a few years, then start entrepreneurship, then become an entrepreneur. Similarly, in the school of life, it's very important to follow the city manual for a few years, maybe for 30 years, 40 years. But I think then, because if you're following the city manual, your next action is not defined by you. Take your life. Take your life. Is your next action defined by you? Your next action is always defined and influenced by a lot of factors. Lot of factors. It all depends where you are in your life. So unfortunately, our next action is not in our hand. And if the next action is not in our hand, it means your current state of mind is not in your hand, isn't it? The present is not in your hand. Now, what do you mean? If you are really living in the present, what do you mean by living in the present, by the way? Living in the present is like just watching. It's just like you are an alien on the planet Earth and you are just there and you're watching. You're completely watching. Whatever you are doing, you're just watching. Even if you're coding, you're just watching the coding, not thinking about something. Just watching. Just living in the present. Imagine that you have a meeting, you have a very important meeting. You're an entrepreneur, you're going to stand in front of investors, or you have a brainstorming meeting, you have a strategy meeting, you have a troubleshoot meeting after 1 hour. For this next 1 hour, you're actually getting the energy from the action which you're going to take. Getting a point. So, but in this 1 hour, can you stay in the present and just prepare, watch what exactly I'm going to do? People who stay in the present only living life, I think. Otherwise, we are always chasing the feelings and the energy of the next moment or next action, not the moment. Action. Right? Because movement is what? Movement is a time. We cannot control time. What we can control is action. But if your actions are not under your control and you're living the feelings of action you're going to take, the next action, ultimately you're saying that your life is not under your control. You're getting a point. If you're saying that my current moment is all about the feelings which I'm going to consume from my next action, pain and pleasure, we're always living that life. It's never ending. We are chasing the action. That's not life, I think. When I realized that, then I thought, let me live a life where my every next action is under my control. And that's the reason, ladies and gentlemen, I decided to leave from city. Unfortunately, Himalayas is so have earned a lot of bad name because of Bollywood. In a lot of Bollywood movies, they have shown that Himalaya is a place where people get when they want to run away from the city, or when they want to run away from their responsibilities or accountabilities, or when they want to run away from their relationships. It's nothing like that. When you come to Himalayas, you will see so many people from city, the artists, and even people from IT. They have come here, and not only from India, even from lots of other parts of the world. Coming here, they're settling here because we have access to good air, good food, good water, good people, and we can work from here. We understand the importance of all our responsibilities, accountabilities, relationship, and everything. That day, someone was asking me that, Praveen, why you have left Mumbai? I said, just go to Mumbai, take your car, keep it outside. Good if it is a white car, keep it outside for 2 days, and then see the layer of dust on that car. You are breathing the same air. So I'm happy. Fortunately, I've got an opportunity in my life to come out from that and breathe a good air, good water, good people, good work. So, what within my capacity, I'm not at all recommending, suggesting, and asking or advising, but within my capacity, because I have limited time on this planet Earth, I decided to live a life where my next action is under my control, isn't completely under my control. I know what I'm going to do next. It's because of I'm deciding it. There's no other factors deciding that. I'm deciding that next action. Uh, at the same time, also practicing that, okay, keep the next action aside, but let me watch the present. But every time it's not possible to watch the present. It's not worth watching sometimes. For example, you are eating something which you don't like it. Come on. It's like, it's very difficult to just watch it. But that we need to practice. That is meditation. That keeping your feelings, likings and disliking aside and just watching whatever you are eating without feeling in your mind whether you're liking or not liking it. That is meditation. That is within your capacity staying in the present. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sirs and ma'ams, if I cut down all the conversation going in my mind and come back to the point, one thing which I realized during my solo travel is even though it is important for us to always watch whatever the present, we cannot think about the present, watch the present, but unfortunately, since childhood, we have been conditioned to always consume the feelings and the energy from the next action which we are going to do. So make sure you should have control on your next actions which you are going to take because that is actually defining your current state of mind. And we always switch between these two. Either we watch the present or we take the energy from the next action.